Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Paddington, the animated family film. I guess not animated, it's live action with animated CG characters. Paddington is a CG character. But it is a family film. Movies that I haven't franchised, there's Paddington 1 and 2. I have not seen either of them. And Paddington 2 gets brought up constantly, it seems, on like so many different movie podcasts that I listen to. It's just a matter of time before somebody starts gushing over how amazing Paddington 2 is. So I decided to finally check them out. I purchased both of the films just outright on Apple TV. I mean, if everybody says they're so good, then, I'm probably going to like it. The chances are I'm going to like it, and it was true. I'm going to talk about Paddington 1 in this episode. Next week, I'll do Paddington 2. But yeah, adorable characters. You see, I was a Paddington. I remember having a Paddington stuffed animal growing up. And I believe I watched episodes. There are moments of this what I kind of remember where he's, kind of writing letters back to his aunt. I kind of it reminded me of I believe it was an animated show as a kid. But it's not something that I had a lot of nostalgic memories of necessarily. It wasn't my biggest jam as a kid. But damn, is it adorable. You get to see kind of the origins of Paddington, where where his family, before Paddington was in the picture, an explorer was in, where does it say? Does it say Peruvian? Was in Peru on an expedition and found these bears that were just adorable bears, and formed a bond with them, taught them how to speak some English, and then then the explorer went away, and these bears later found Paddington and kind of taught him all he knows, and taught him there's the UK, England was kind of this place that they always wanted to travel to, and tragedy happens back in the Peruvian jungle, and his aunt sends Paddington to go find the explorer to live with. And when he gets to the UK, Paddington is taken in by this adorable family that is the core of the film, while they try to help Paddington find the explorer. I love the family. I love every aspect of this. The villain is Nicole Kidman. She plays a taxidermist. The family is amazing. The dad is like the most hesitant to help. Like the most hesitant to have Paddington in the family. Everybody, by the way, the universe of this film, nobody gives a shit that Paddington is a bear. They're not afraid. They don't even acknowledge that Paddington. Like I'm almost curious if Paddington is like an allegory for a person of color, because there's moments of the film where it feels like Paddington would be, he's an immigrant in the UK, and after watching the Small Axe films, you kind of see how unwelcoming the UK can be to immigrants. So maybe that's a connection there. But the dad is like he's saying no constantly, but also going way out of his way to help out Paddington, which is just sweet. The mom of the family is an artist. She's an illustrator. Also just a sweetheart. I mean, anything UK, it seems like they're just so polite. They're just so polite. I mean, the downside of everybody being super nice is they're putting on a facade a lot of the times, but it's still nice to just see, just kind of, it's very similar to Ted Lasso, just how it's just super nice. Everybody's super nice. The son of the family is like a genius. He's like a MacGyver kind of a kid. The daughter is super smart as well. She's like super good with the languages. The grandma in the family is a badass. Just the whole family that surrounds Paddington is so adorable. While they're trying to find out who this guy was. And in the story, it's interesting. It's interesting how they connected the villain, the taxidermist, to she ends up being spoilers for Paddington. That's I don't know 6 7 years old. Um, she's the daughter of the explorer, which was an interesting wrinkle. And the reason why it was so hard for them to find any records of that explorer is that the explorer was sent to bring back specimens from Peru, and he did not. He was supposed to bring back the bears, which were the aunt and uncle of Paddington. So he was kind of excommunicated, and all of his records were burned. And she's the daughter of this guy, so she's kind of trying to. She kind of makes up for his compassion by trying to get the specimen of a Peruvian bear. But yeah, there's funny gags in this. There's a pigeon gag that constantly goes on. The movies are well shot. Like everything's framed. It almost has a Wes Anderson kind of a feel to it. Um, the kind of the mistakes, Paddington just kind of existing, trying to do good things, or just common things, ends up turning into like this Rube Goldberg of events that just kind of escalate how bad a situation gets, which is adorable. I mean, it's kind of slapsticky as well. The animation is pretty good. I mean, the character design is adorable. Paddington is adorable. This movie is adorable. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The little town that they're in England is adorable. As I say, every part of this movie is adorable. It should just be called Paddington. Adorable as fuck. That's what it should be called. And I probably can't get monetized for this because I just said the F word, and but whatever. Paddington, the first film of the series, is good. It's you get a little adventure in there, as they're trying to kind of figure out what's going on. They try to save Paddington. The family kind of comes together to save Paddington because he gets snatched up at one point. But it's like a kind of a bummer because he's not really welcome in the family at first, and he's kind of a magnet for mistakes, and he's clumsy, and bad things happen, and it kind of like adds a riff in the family, so he doesn't feel welcome, and he kind of gets sets off on his own. So it's ups and downs, lefts and rights, but overall a really great movie, just a really heartwarming movie. I would imagine they're going to do more because I think Paddington 2 is rated better than Paddington 1, and I'm looking forward to talking about that next week. But it would be fun to see if this series continues. And I think it's the same creator of or producer from Harry Potter produced at least this first Paddington film. But yeah, it's a character that uh, just him existing and getting into these little troubles, and then also being set in the UK adds a new flavor to it. For whatever reason, I like super I cravings for marmalade all of a sudden. I'm literally the next time I go to the grocery store, I'm getting marmalade, trying to decide of what kind of bread would be good for a marmalade sandwich. But I'm definitely, by the time I review Paddington 2, I will have ingested a respectable amount of marmalade, making sure I get all of the nutrients, that all of the vitamins and nutrients a bear needs in one single sandwich for the day. Since I'm a bear, in some communities they would consider me a bear because I'm a hairy dude, bigger hairy dude. But yeah, check it out, Paddington. It's just so. What else can I not say? I mean, It's a really fun movie, heartfelt. It's got heart for days. The family's amazing. I'm just excited to see hopefully what Paddington 3 is. I mean, Paddington 2, it's amazing how good Paddington is, and for Paddington 2 to come out and be arguably be a step up. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this franchise if they continue to pump it out. And I don't know if Paul King, he wrote and directed this. Did he do Paddington 2? He did do Paddington 2. So that's good. Um, Hopefully, do they show upcoming pre-production? No. He's doing a Wonka movie. That's interesting. Uh, that was very interesting. But hopefully he comes back to do Paddington 3. Fingers crossed. Paddington 2 came out in 2017. So it's been 4 years. Not looking good for a new Paddington. But if it's just 2 movies, it's a great 2-movie franchise. But yeah, check it out. Paddington. Make sure you support our sponsor, Station House Coffee. Give them a follow on Instagram and go to the website, stationhousecoffee.com. Order yourself some amazing small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, shipped directly to you. Let them know the Ray Taylor Show sent you. Follow Station House Coffee on Instagram and go to stationhousecoffee.com and order your coffee today.
You can bring to reality.
Paddington 2, the sequel to Paddington 1. You did not know there is, and it is a sequel that is amazing. I love Paddington 1. Paddington 2, obviously, I think it's like one of the best reviewed movies of all time, and I see why. If you loved Paddington 1, there's no reason why you wouldn't feel the same, if not more, love for Paddington in this follow-up. It was sweet. I love how everybody is so polite and charming. It's just it's a great movie. In this one, Paddington's trying to make some money to buy a gift for his aunt. But in the process of that, the book that he's trying to get ends up getting stolen, and in the process of trying to retrieve the stolen book, Paddington gets accused of the crime, accused of stealing this book. That's this really rare pop-up book of London that he wanted to send his aunt, because she's always wanted to go to London, but never been able to get out of the jungle. So he was going to send this pop-up book as kind of a way for her to, imagine herself in London. And things didn't go well for Paddington, getting busted for this crime. And despite him being just such a joyous person, he ends up going to jail. Which if you've seen, if you're looking at the background, obviously he goes to jail. If you've seen any stills from this, it's not a big spoiler that he goes to jail or that this movie takes place a lot in jail. But this movie also shows the power of being nice, despite the fact that he goes to jail. Just how sweet Paddington is to everybody, how just kind of endearing he is, and how just adorable he is, and how he tries to do good. He's just able to really find family wherever he goes, which is kind of a heartwarming part of this. I also really enjoyed the visual style of this film. Super heartwarming, but the visuals are like, it's doing a lot of things that a lot of, like it really has like a Wes Anderson kind of a feel. Like it feels like a director that's got a visual style and knows what he's doing, as opposed to like a lot of kids movies just kind of have a generic kind of way to, they're not really doing anything interesting with the camera work or the shots. But in this one, I felt like they took it up a notch from the first Paddington, including the CG. I think the CG definitely looks a lot better in this sequel as well. But yeah, it's fun. So he goes to jail, and then you see the town. There's a lot of funny bits when he's trying to make money. He tries to be a window washer. which is funny. And it's just, all of those times where Paddington trying to do good. Oh, he worked in a barber shop as well. Like he tries to do good. He's trying. And every time he tries, it seems like he goofs up and fails, but he does it in an adorable way. I mean, so much like the slapstick comedy of like a Laurel and Hardy, but inside of a adorable little bear. But yeah, he goes into prison, and due to the cafeteria uh, standings in that prison, the quality of food that's served in the cafeteria, Paddington's able to kind of get his foot in the door with trying to make friends, trying to help. I think what he finds the marmalade sandwich, and like finds out that Paddington knows how to make marmalade, so he's like brings him in to like do that. But then he finds out, it's the power of people, understanding that even in prison, it's also kind of a commentary on how prisons would be so much different if we treated humans like humans, and kind of came at it from a different perspective. But you see all these other people kind of offering their skills to help make the prison a better place. And it's fun to see the prison kind of evolve and change due to the influence of Paddington and his niceness, how polite and nice and sweet he is with his marmalade. And they end up making all kinds of candies and stuff like that. Um, Pierce Brosnan is the villain character in this. He kind of plays this failed actor that realizes that the pop-up book is basically like a treasure map, where he's trying to find the treasure of the woman that wrote the pop-up book, because he's a failed actor, and shortcuts are the way to go. But he uses his kind of costumes to make him disguised, to get away with his crimes, which is fun. The whole thing's fun. The town starts to fall apart when Paddington goes, because like the beginning of this movie, you're seeing Paddington kind of going. I don't remember where he's going specifically, but he leaves the house, and he's kind of going on these different rides with different people as they're going through town, like helping them out and giving them breakfast, and like just doing all these kind of little things where Paddington is helping out the town. So when he leaves, when he goes to jail, like the town feels it. But just a really sweet movie. The friends that he makes in prison, the kind of what he does, he ends up breaking out of prison with them, and this is like this whole thing to try and prove his innocence, and just a really fun kind of an action movie, in like action moments in this family film, but really heartfelt. The end of this movie, not the musical. There's a musical scene during the credits, but the end of this movie before the credits roll, is just, it's a scene that I saw coming, but it hit me. It brought tears to my eyes. I cried during the end of this film, when you see kind of the resolution to everything. Um, but yeah, the just a really charming movie about like goodness, being good, the power of being good and being nice, and just like what you can do when people come together, and and try to change things for good. Because it's like it's amazing, like how Paddington is really able to just kind of have these like families around him wherever he goes. He's just like brought in, and people want to love and protect, and kind of feed off of his positivity. And it's super clear why this movie is so well regarded. It's just so sweet and so nice and funny. There's a lot of funny moments in this. There's yeah, just it's great from top to bottom. Really fun movie. Paddington 2. I highly recommend checking it out. I purchased both Paddington 1 and 2 through iTunes, but I would imagine at some point they will be available. I don't know what what company produced this to know where it might end up. I want to say I've seen it. I've seen it on a streaming service like Netflix at one point, but I don't think it is at this point. But if it ever is, I recommend checking it out. I haven't seen. I also looked to see if there are any plans for a Paddington 3, since Paddington 2 came out in 2017. And I don't see any, which is a bummer. I would love to see another Paddington movie. Maybe it's just not that same director. Maybe there is something in the works. But Paul King, who wrote and directed, I believe both of them, yeah, both of the Paddington movies, is not scheduled currently. He's working on a Wonka. He's pre-production for a Wonka movie, which is scheduled for 2023. Which that would be interesting to see, a Willy Wonka movie by him versus um, Johnny Depp and whatever his face was. I forget that director's name offhand. But yeah, would love to see a Paddington 3. I don't know if I'd be as excited if anybody other than Paul King was involved, but you never know. It just an adorable movie and a fun little franchise, even if it is only 2 movies. It doesn't really leave it open, but I wouldn't mind seeing Paddington on another adventure. Maybe he goes on a family trip with the family that he's living with, and they go to America or something like that. They could easily do something to where shenanigans will happen, and Paddington gets in trouble and everybody has to work together to get him out of it. But yeah, a really fun movie. Highly recommend checking it out. Buy it if you at all. It's a great movie to own if you don't want to wait for it to stream wherever it streams. But Paddington 2, check it out. Go get yourself some new cell phone service with $25 in credit when you sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting. Ting is amazing cell phone service where you only pay for what you use. Super low prices. Bring over your phone or buy a phone through them. But get yourself $25 in credit when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting. It's the same best coverage, same low rates, now with 3 coast-to-coast networks. inspireddisorder.com/ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.